I have one more Oktoberfest recipe for you, beer brats for dinner. Hi, I'm Uncle Carl, foodie and world traveler. Come join me as I recreate some of the dishes that I've experienced from around the world. Thank you for joining me on this trip, and welcome to Twin Moons Tavern. Another staple of German and Oktoberfest cuisine, Bratwurst. It's about as German as you can get, and there's a few different ways to make it. Today I'm doing more of a sit-down German meal of it, and I'm going to have some Bratkartoffeln and some Sauerkraut with it as well. I'm going to show you how to do it, but before I do, if this is the kind of material that you like, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Now let's get to it. First, the ingredients. 8 Bratwurst, preferably picked up from your local butcher. About 12 ounces of your favorite sauerkraut, more if desired. 2 beers. Cooking oil as needed. For the Brotkartoffel, 2 russet potatoes, 1 onion, 1/4 cup chopped parsley, 1 to 2 teaspoons paprika, salt and pepper to taste, cooking oil as needed. For the sauerkraut, your favorite store brand, or you can go to the link for a recipe on sauerkraut all by itself. The first thing we want to do is prep our potatoes for the Bratkartoffel. Bratkartoffel is simply a fried potato, very similar to the hash browns or the fried potatoes you might find as a side dish at your local diner here in the States. This is just specifically the German way of doing it. Take your russet potatoes, slice off one side to give it a flat edge, and then slice it into even planks. It really doesn't matter how thick they are, that's more of a personal preference, but try to make them as even as possible. A lot of people peel their potatoes. You notice I did not. I think the peel adds a lot of flavor and texture, and it's also where most of the nutritional value of a potato is, so I actually rarely peel them. But if you like them peeled, go ahead and peel them before you get to this step. Once I have those in planks, I'm going to go ahead and turn them into sticks. And then once I have that done, I'm just going to go ahead and cube them. Again, try to make them as close to the same size as possible. They don't have to be perfect, but certainly not wildly different. By having them all the same size, they're going to cook evenly, and you're not going to get super soft potatoes with potatoes that are still hard. Go ahead and stick them in a bowl of water and let them sit for about 20 minutes. This is going to pull out a lot of the excess starch, which is going to help them crisp up more when we fry them. Once they're done soaking, go ahead and lay them out on some paper towel and pat them dry. They don't have to be bone dry, but the drier they are, again, the crisper they'll be when they fry. On a pan in a medium-high heat, put your cooking oil and then place in your potatoes. Make sure they're spread out evenly. Cover the pan and let it cook for about 5 minutes. While the potatoes are cooking, get yourself your onion, slice off the top, slice it in half, peel it, and then go ahead and just make some nice long slices out of them. If you want to, you can cube them as well. I'm just doing it this way because I cube the potatoes. Once you slice those onions up, get a few sprigs of parsley, take off the big stems, and give them a rough chop. I'm not leaving them in super huge leaves, but I'm not going super fine on them either. I'm doing this for aesthetics. In this particular dish, I think they look better if they're in larger pieces. Then again, you do you. If you want them smaller, do a nice mince. If you want to leave them bigger, don't even bother cutting. Once those potatoes have been cooking for 5 minutes, give them a flip. Let them go for about another 2 minutes. Then add your onions. Let them go for another 2 to 3 minutes. Give it all a nice stir. Add some salt and pepper. And then just let them keep on cooking. About every 2-3 minutes, give them a stir. Your total cook time on this is going to be about 20 minutes. Give or take a couple of minutes, depending on how thick you cut these potatoes. And as you see here, they're getting brown and even starting to get a little char on them. I'm just going to take one with a fork and test it. Add my paprika. Give it a stir. Add my parsley. Give that a stir. And the Brotkartoffel is done. And now it's time to do my bratwurst, which really is super easy. And in a pot under a medium-high heat, go ahead and put your 2 beers. They really should be German, and preferably something Belgian and dark. Go ahead and put in your bratwurst, and then your sauerkraut. Now cooking the sauerkraut in with this is going to reduce that funky sourness, and it's going to get some of those flavors from the beer. If that's something you don't like and you would prefer to have that funky sour flavor as strong as it normally is, skip this step. Once it's at a simmer, cut it back to a medium-low heat so you can keep it just at a low simmer. And then just let those brats poach for about 20 minutes. Once those 20 minutes is up, go ahead and fish out your brats and then your sauerkraut. The broth that you have here left over could be used again as a stock base, so if you like that, go ahead and save that for future use. Now these brats are fully cooked, and you can eat them like this, but you really want to put some color on them. So back in your frying pan, just a little bit of oil, you don't need a whole lot. Go ahead and put in your brats for about 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how dark you like them. And then give them a flip. And then however long you left them on the first side, it's going to be about the same amount of time on the second side. And then it's time to plate. Another simple plating, we're going to put down 2 brats, a nice helping of our Brakaartoffeln, and then our sauerkraut. A little extra parsley for garnish, and brats aren't the same without a little bit of mustard on the side. There you go, a simple, hearty, iconic German meal for Oktoberfest. I'd like to take a second to thank my Patreons, whose support really helps me put these videos together. If you'd like to support the channel, the link for the Patreon is in the description below, as well as the information for the channel's PayPal account. This is going to be my last German recipe for a little bit. I've done several recently leading up to Oktoberfest. I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope you have a happy and safe Oktoberfest. And as always, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you here next time on Twin Moons Tavern. Prost. Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to hear it from my family about my pronunciation of words.